Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Sorry I hadn't posted any new content in a while. I've had a surgery and just been kind of recovering from that and hadn't done much. But I was going to show you a few Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure items I have here. I'll open them up and look at them. So, got the phone booth, and I got it's called the Air Guitar Collector's Edition. But it's basically the same as the other ones I couldn't find, except the guitars are blue, like they're invisible, I guess. And when I received it, it was already popped loose from the bubbles, from the cards. So we'll go ahead and look at it first. And it's got a couple of little stands, it looks like. And let's check these guys out. Let's put up the packaging first. It's got the phone booth on the card there. Up here, it's like a comic book icon, sort of. William Stanley Preston Esquire, a.k.a. Bill, and his friend Ted Theodore Logan III, a.k.a. Ted, formed the Wyld Stallions. After an excellent adventure through time, they became the greatest band in history. Turn up, rock out, and be excellent to each other. Ted Theodore Logan. So they basically say the same thing except in reverse. I guess they were individually carded, so that's what their write-ups were, and they just used it again. But it's called Incendium, it's the company. And it's a FigBiz logo. I don't know if that's the brand or Miss Monsters Metal. Alright, so let's check these guys out. Got a couple extra hands too, it looks like. And we'll open the stand first. Okay, so the stand has a FigBiz logo. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see, put that behind it. There we go. So that's what the stand looks like. Got a peg. And this one's going to be the same. And it has a Wyld Stallions pin. Alright, so there's Bill. That's interesting. Oh, so the heads pop off real easily. And it's got a purple ball joint. But as long as you don't tilt it back too far, it's okay. So this, okay, it don't turn, it just has a tab like that. I was trying to turn it, but it doesn't really do that. And the only difference really is that hand's open, that one's closed with a guitar pick. I would prefer if the hands rotated right here, but they don't. The head's really loose. I'd like that to be a little sturdier. It's got a double jointed knee though, that's pretty good. Ankles don't turn. So it moves at the pelvis and it's got a double jointed knee. And then it moves at the shoulders. Ball joint head, really loose. And it bends at the elbows. But not too good, and since this hand doesn't really, that hand don't even come off there, so the way, it looks like it should turn this way, but his hand's all wonky if he turns it that way, so it don't really have a lot of flex in his elbow if you just turn this way. That one looks alright. So I think that one's backwards or something. The hand comes off real easily. Alright, let's see. If that hand came out, I'd say maybe you could turn it around, but it doesn't come out. Okay. Well, these are kind of an off-brand figure, so I really got them for display purposes anyway, just to put in my random 80s figures shelf. And that one's the same way. It looks like it needs to turn that way. That's all right because you can turn that one. That hand actually turns, sort of. It has more of a peg, not that square shaped thing. Okay, this one seems better in the articulation. Its head's sturdier. Has a ball joint, but it ain't so loose. It's not so loose. He turns at the pelvis. I wonder if this one does. I just didn't turn it enough. Yeah, okay. He does. He does turn the pelvis. This one's got the ball joint head, but it doesn't really go back much because of his hair. The graphics on the shirts and stuff are really good. So I think for display purposes, these are probably okay. He don't have the double jointed knees. He just has single jointed knees. That's kind of weird about the consistency. You'd think they'd both be made the same. That wrist doesn't turn, but this one you can do some things with. All right, so there they are. And they have the air guitars if you want to hang them around their necks. Have them doing those. I think for the purpose of an air guitar, you don't really need the guitar. I'd rather just have the regular guitar, but I couldn't find that version. Apparently there's a version out there of that, but I didn't realize there were two different versions till I got these. I overlooked the air guitar part. That hand doesn't really turn right to hold the guitar the way you would think anyway, but it really needs to turn palm up. If they had regular guitars, it'd look pretty good. Like I said, I think there's a version out there with the regular guitars. I'm not going to display the air guitars. I'm just going to display them like they are mostly through the movie. Just Bill and Ted. And they stand pretty good. I don't know if I need these stands really where I'm going to display them. Let's open up this phone booth. Let's look at this box real quick. Pretty good artwork on the box. Okay, there's the other versions. So they do come individually carded. And I guess Incendium.online, but they didn't have them while I looked. Phone booth. In 1989, a most excellent dude named Rufus used a phone booth to traverse the circuits of time and help San Dimas high schoolers, Bill and Ted, pass their exams by assembling an incredible cast of historical figures from Genghis Kahn to Abraham Lincoln, visiting the prehistoric era, medieval England, and the Wild West along the way. Thanks to Rufus, the triumphant duo would avoid military school, keep the band together, and ultimately save the future with their music as Wyld Stallions. Party on with your 5-inch FigBiz dudes, sold separately, and be excellent to each other. So I actually had this phone booth for a while. I couldn't find the figures. And then I finally came across these, so they'll do for my purposes. It has like some foam in there holding it in place. It's well packaged. Alright, so here it is. And door opens and folds. That's pretty cool. And you could use this with a Superman figure or something too. It's got the weird antenna thing, but I think you could probably overlook that if you want to put in a diorama scene or something with Superman. And I don't know if they came out with any other figures other than these or not, but I'm just going to put these on my 80s shelf. I'm trying to get a shelf just to like 80s pop culture icons, basically. So I think they'll look pretty good displayed. I'm pretty happy with it. The only other ones I know of that's out there is the cartoon versions, which are kind of weird. They're like posed in one position. You can't do a whole lot with them. The likenesses are really good. Like I said, this ball joint deal they got on this neck on him is kind of wonky, a little loose. And that arm doesn't really want to bend any further than that, which I think if the hand was turned the other way, it would bend fine that way. So it almost seems like a mistake, but that hand does not come off on that left hand. I might have to customize it a little bit, but just for display purposes, I'm not going to worry about it. He doesn't really need his arm to be bent too far for display. Okay, so I'm going to compare the new Bill and Ted figures I have to the vintage Bill and Ted's figures that was put out by Kenner in the 80s. And there was several figures they put out for these. I don't have the complete sets, and the ones I do have aren't complete, some of them, but I do have a pretty good little sampling here, so we'll look at those. First of all, the phone booth is probably the coolest thing in that set, and that one's in pretty good condition. I think everything on it works. What it does is, I need to clean these up. They're pretty dirty. I bought these as a lot, I think, and put them away. Never did clean them up or anything. So I need to clean these up, display them, or put them in preserve them a little better. But I don't know if you can see in there. There's the receiver on the phone. Which, by the way, I was looking at this one, and it's wonky looking that phone in there. Let's see if I can turn the light on it. There we go. Look how wonky that phone looks. It's not squared up or anything, but I'm kind of disappointed in that. They could have done a better job on that, I think. But the one on this one has a little receiver in there, and when you pull the cord out, it kind of winds it up, and when you push this button right here, it's going to shoot back in there, but I'll make this start spinning. Didn't spin very much, did it? Let's try this. Alright. There we go. It spun a little bit, right? But anyway, that's all that does. It has the opening door and everything. And we'll put that back there for now. Okay, then we got Bill and Ted. They both came with a guitar, and they don't like to hold them very good sometimes, but you squeeze the legs together and they look like they're playing the guitar. So that's pretty cool, little action feature, I thought. And then Ted does the same thing. And these are just 5 points of articulation. But you can compare these. Of course, these look more cartoony looking and everything, and these look more realistic. So you got the Keanu Reeves versus the cartoon Ted, and size wise they're about the same height. They're not too much different, but of course, since these are cartoony looking, they look more like the Police Academy figures or something, and these look more, anatomically accurate. So you could probably put on this guy as a suit, like at Disney or something. And then we'll compare the Bill figures. And I was wondering if, I know he has Wyld Stallions on his shirt on this. I can't remember in the movie if he had a shirt that said Wyld Stallions on it. I don't guess he did, but I guess they just did that to make it look more for the cartoon likeness. But they look like they have on completely different outfits actually, but Ted looks a little bit more accurate to his. The colors are not accurate. They tried to make it more colorful, I guess, for cartoon reasons, but he's got the vest and the t-shirt and all that. So let's look at the other ones real quick. And they had a different version back here where they have like suit coats on, and we'll look at that in a minute. I'll explain that set. But you got the Grim Reaper, and he has a guitar that he can play when you squeeze his legs. And they all have this jack on the back, and I'm going to show you what those are for in a few minutes. It has to do with this set back here. He also came with a staff, so if you want to take his, if you didn't want to use his guitar, you want to make him have a staff instead. I guess he doesn't really have a good way to hold it, but I guess he kind of can. I guess he could hold it like that, actually, like he's like that. He don't really hold it good with one hand. And of course these are like really cartoonish looking. He's got the Wyld Stallions logo tattooed on his skull, and he didn't look like that in the movie or anything. But I wonder if I can make his hands stay down. Maybe I can. I think he could hold this better if his hand would stay down. Okay, that might work. And it might not. Okay, so there's the Grim Reaper. Got 5 points for articulation. The heads on these are really loose. I think they were that way when they were new. If I remember right, I actually had the Bill and Ted when I think I bought them new somewhere. I actually have my original Bill and Ted over here. This is the ones I had when I was growing up. They're pretty. They need to be cleaned up a little bit, I guess, also. Let's see. I think this is actually the one I had growing up. Mine are always in bare condition because I took really good care of my toys. It's a little yellowed, but that's just from the aging. But this one's missing some paint and stuff, so I'm pretty sure these are the two I had growing up. So I got another set when I bought that lot. I want to get all the side characters. Alright, we'll just lay this stuff over here for now. Okay, then you got Abraham Lincoln. And he has this removable hat, and he has like a flat top thing with the Wyld Stallions logo on it. So he kind of like punks out, I guess. I like him better with the hat on. Looks more like he does in the movie. And he comes with a keyboard. These did not have the stands. They have the keyboard part, but not the stands. So I'm going to have to kind of customize these. But, you know, he turns his head when he plays, and he plays the keyboard. So that one's pretty cool. I wish it had the stand for that, because that's pretty neat. And Rufus also has a keyboard. And let's see. Yeah. He has the same features as Abraham Lincoln. He can play the keyboard. So that's pretty cool. I wish they would come out with all the movie accurate characters, especially Rufus for this line, but if I had Rufus, I'd be happy, I think. And then Genghis Kahn came with a set of drums, and it's got the Wyld Stallions logo on it. This part comes off, and I think that's all that came with the drums, but I guess he's supposed to have some drumsticks, and his action features playing the drums, kind of the same as the keyboard, except his arms go up. Instead of going down, up and down together, they go opposite of each other, so it looks more like he's playing the drums. And there he is. He actually has this little vest thing. It's almost like a He-Man type deal the way it goes on. So I think he has the Wyld Stallions logo on his t-shirt underneath here. Yeah. So it's kind of like they go from their original look to the punked out look all of a sudden. So that's the only ones I have. They had a few more in that line, which are on the back of this box here. They had Napoleon, and his hat would come off, and he had like a bleached hairdo or something, I guess. He had a set of drums, and looks like he has some swords maybe. Yeah, and this looks like his coat probably came on and off like Genghis Khan's does, because it got something else underneath there. The swords may actually not come off. It might just be part of that outfit. And then the Grim Reaper's supposed to have a hood, so he actually looks like the Grim Reaper before he punks out. So I prefer that version, but I don't have the cape, so I have to find something that'll work for him, I guess. Genghis Khan had some kind of weapon and some drumsticks, but he had two. Let's see, maybe he had two weapons. I don't know. He's got a couple of big things there, it looks like. Then they had Billy the Kid. I don't have him. I'm just missing Napoleon and Billy the Kid, I think. And then some accessories. But Billy the Kid's, he looks like he didn't change much except his leg things would come off, it looks like. And he had like a rope and a lasso kind of thing and a guitar. And then Rufus his keyboard didn't have a stand. It had like a thing that strapped on over his neck, it looks like. And he had some kind of briefcase. I don't have that. But there's the stand for the Abraham Lincoln that I'm missing. And there's the phone booth. And then they had a vehicle, which I didn't even realize that until I was looking at this just now. And boom truck with portable sound stage. Take Bill and Ted's rock and roll adventures on the road. And it has this little speaker deal with it also. And that little speaker thing you could buy separate. I had one that I bought separate, but it also came with a set, and I guess it came with that boom truck sound stage. But the way these are supposed to work is it's a little speaker, and I don't have an old tape deck to try it with, but you're supposed to be able to plug it into like a Walkman or something. And this part would plug into where the headphones go. And there's two of these. And I remember how it worked. I remember playing with it when I was younger. But I bought the speaker and the cassette that came with it. And I'll try to put a video of this with the audio from this when I get a chance to put it in there. But it's got a bunch of songs. So be interesting to hear those. I don't remember what they sounded like or anything. I'm sure they were made just for this. But I said 80s. It says 1991. So I guess these came out after the second movie, because it's got the Grim Reaper. Which is probably why they didn't. I don't think it's a very popular line, but it's probably because these are basically based off the first movie, most of them. And it was kind of out of date by then. But it's got It's Us, rhythm guitar / lead guitar, Rufus riff, rhythm guitar / lead guitar, Living in Incendium, lead guitar / rhythm guitar. I think most of this was just like music. It didn't have like words or anything. Wyld Rider, lead guitar / drums, Mondo Bondo, lead guitar / keyboard, and Time Power with rhythm guitar and drums. So it tells you what instruments are in them. So there's 6 songs. It's Us, Rufus riff, Living in Incendium, Wyld Rider, Mondo Bondo, and Time Power. And so you can figure out which figures are supposed to be playing in those, I guess, from the instruments. And pretty cool looking audio cassette, actually. Just the label on it and everything. Looks like Wyld Stallions, like they decorated themselves or something. And so you put that in your Walkman, and there's 2 cords that go to this. There's 3 cords. One goes to the Walkman, and then 2 go to your figures, and they plug into the back. And so the music would be playing through the speaker, but the speaker would only cut on when you do that. So it was like you didn't hear the music unless you were doing something. So it would kind of, and it seems like the two different instruments it has there, like one of these would be for the guitar and the other one would be for like I guess those are all guitar. Like this one's guitar and drums. So one of them would be for the guitar and one would be for the drums. So you can make them just do the drum sound or just do the keyboard sound. I mean, the guitar sound, if I remember right. Seems like they were on different tracks. It's like one's on the left side, one's on the right side. So it's like if this one was going, it'd do like the guitar or whatever. So it was a pretty cool little play feature. It was different. I don't know of any other action figure lines that had that feature with all these cords and everything. And these cords would kind of get in the way, and this thing would never really want to stand up by itself very good. But so there's that. So this set came with the it was like a Bill and Ted in their tux tops and shorts, and it came with the speaker and the tape cassette. But you could also buy the speaker and the tape cassette on the card, because how I actually bought it when I was a kid. And it says 6 Wyld Stallion tunes. So I tried to get that tape. I think I can just play it on a regular cassette player when I get one hooked up, and I can record the audio in from that and make a video just if you want to hear what that cassette sounds like. I don't know if anybody's put that online or anything, but it might be an interesting trivial kind of thing to listen to. And like I said, these were put out by Kenner. I'm going to say 1991. Yeah, 1991 Kenner. And this was the Bill and Ted Jam Session 2-packs, what that was called. So I didn't really care about, I don't think they ever had tuxedo tops or anything in the movies that I remember, so I didn't really care about the figures and that. And I think they were in with this lot that I bought. The main things I wanted was the telephone booth and the Bill and Ted figures and the Rufus. But I do like the side characters too. I just didn't care about that because it wasn't really anything. It might have been in the cartoon, I don't know. And Rufus is pretty cool looking. He looks kind of weird if you don't have his keyboard, because he's just standing there like, I don't know. His hands are kind of weird hanging there. But that's those. So I just wanted to compare the two sets there. And so that's the vintage. Then we got the new ones. So I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe so you'll see our other videos when I put new ones out. Make sure you click on the notifications part when you subscribe so you'll get notifications when I put new videos out. But I'm going to try to get more videos up. I haven't been doing a lot lately because I had surgery and all that, and I've been kind of down a little bit lately, and I'm trying not to get burnt out on anything, but mainly it's not really doing the videos that's burning me out. It's the mess I've got piling up here. So I need to get things organized. I'm kind of a perfectionist, and when things get unorganized, I'm a little OCD too, I guess, but I'm not a practicing OCD person, I guess you could say. So I get depressed when things aren't just right, and things are rarely just right. So I don't know. I don't know if you other people out there can relate to that, but if you can, leave a comment. It'd be interesting to hear about that. See what everybody else feels about that. I know, like collecting, you gotta stay on top of it, staying organized. And if you don't have the space and you have a big collection, it gets kind of depressing because you have all the stuff in boxes you'd like to display, and you don't have the room to display it. And you collect it in case one day you do have a space, but then it starts piling up, and you get kind of depressed sometimes. But I'm trying to make the Wiki Cave be a nice little display area. So when I get that organized, which I was doing a good job getting it organized, but then everything started piling up and I had to have surgery and it got kind of boxed up, I guess you could say. Everything's kind of boxes everywhere and figures laying everywhere. So I got to get that organized and get all my displays going. And I want to put some lights in my display cabinet so you can see things better and stuff. So I'm going to try to work on that this next week. And when I get that done, I'll give y'all a little tour of the Wookiee cave. But anyway, thanks for watching. And you can click right there in the left corner to subscribe, or you can click one of these other links to see some other videos and some playlists. And thanks for watching.